So I finally sat down and watched the deep dive for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and I have to say, as much of a big indie fan I am, and originally I really didn't care for this, first person view, there is still a part of me that kind of wishes that this game was third person. I think it may have actually appealed to a lot more people, and honestly, seeing Indy probably would have been better in my opinion. The constant coming out into third person and then going back into third person, I don't know, not only does it just give some kind of inertia, but I feel it's a little weird, especially with the whole, swinging. It quickly goes into third person and then snaps back into first person. But, you know, outside of the whole first and third person, it looks pretty solid. It looks like it's in a really good shape. Some of the cutscenes looked a little janky, I will say, but I mean, you're seeing it on screen right now. But overall, I think that what they showcased in that 15-minute trailer, well, deep dive, actually showed a lot. It showed you how you're going to get your skills boosted. It showed you some of the puzzles. It showed you all sorts of things. Combat, how those, stat boosts and skills actually benefit you in the long run. Overall, I'm quite happy with where it is. Could it have been better? I think it could have been. I think the third person aspect probably would have helped it more than people realize. But there's no point in dwelling on that. It is a first person game with third person cinematics. But the voice acting was really good. And, the journalist was voiced really well. I love the whole Nazi side of things. They stay true to Indiana Jones in more ways than one, and hopefully Machine Games will do this game justice. I'm really looking forward to this game. This is probably up there as my most looked forward game for this year right now, because I am such a big indie fan, which is why I'm being a little more critical than I normally am, because I don't want my bias of Indiana Jones to overtake what is actually there. So I do want to call out the things that I thought were a little bit odd, or just not to what I was hoping for, or simply where I think it just, if they did something else, it would be overall in a better place. But that isn't to say that what we saw there isn't good enough. At the end of the day, Machine Games, who specialize in first-person games, has created what looks to be a very, very authentic Indiana Jones experience. It is a story-driven experience with puzzles. It looks to be linear, which I'm perfectly okay with. And the combat seems to be pretty much what you would expect from a first-person game. It does seem that the whole indie trope with the whip and hand-to-hand combat will be the main focus. Obviously, we've seen previously where you're going to be in like a fighter jet with your turret. We've also seen gunplay, but I think for the most part of the game, what we're going to get is hand-to-hand combat. It does seem like there's a lot of stealth to go about here, where you kind of distract enemies by doing certain things and avoiding conflict as much as you can. A bit like Thief, I guess, and a lot of people were comparing it to Thief, and I'm okay with that. Indiana Jones isn't really your, up and bustle, gung-ho, combatathon, but I do hope that they do have those trademark scenes, like the trademark car scene, or the trademark warehouses being blown up after a stupid act, or, throwing a cigar and it just going into the wrong place and setting off mass explosions like they usually do in Indiana Jones movies. So I'm hoping for like a bunch of Easter eggs of tropes that we're used to seeing, and I'm hoping that they don't kind of deviate from that, because Indiana Jones is a specific type of film engineered at a certain audience. I know this is going to try and reach as many people as possible, but I do hope that what they're focusing on well and truly is the core audience of Indiana Jones, and then everything else can come after. Again, I'm going to come back to the first and third person. I kind of wish they gave you the choice between the two. Like Avowed, for example, it gives you the choice to play in third person or first person. Even Call of Duty has enabled third person mode, and I tried it out for the first time with Call of Duty Zombies, and honestly it works so well I can't really imagine going back to first person. So I know this was a creative decision, and it is something that Machine Games specialize in, so I'm going to put my complete faith in what they've done and what they're about to deliver on November the 9th, and believe that this is going to be the optimal experience that they set out. But overall, I am really excited for what's to come. It doesn't look like the puzzles are overly crazy. It does look very story driven. It does look linear, which like I said, I'm totally okay with. And based on just ballparking, I reckon this game is going to be somewhere around 15 to 20 hours. Again, it's a single player game. It doesn't look like there's any microtransactions in the game, so the collector's edition might be something I'm interested in if I can find it. But yeah, all in all, I'm really happy. Let me know what you think. I mean, clearly they have decided to go and embrace what makes Indiana Jones, not only with the iconic hat and the whip, but it's also the iconic puzzles and mysteries and little trinkets lying around with hidden information that provides you with more clues to solve those unsolvable puzzles that are generally within Indiana Jones. So, when you're combining everything, it does look like they have, brought the whole package of what makes Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones. Like I said at the start, though, some of the scenes, maybe it was just what we were watching, or maybe it was just a bad YouTube compression video. Some of the scenes looked like they were jumping ever so slightly, a bit janky for the cutscenes. So hopefully, if that is the case and it is actually part of the cutscene, they will iron those out, because you don't want those little blemishes. It kind of ruins the whole immersion. But for me, obviously it's part of Game Pass day one, but I am really considering picking up the actual collector's edition for this if I can find it. Like I said, I'm a massive Indy fan, always have been, always will be, and something like this is definitely right up my alley. Like I said, I'm trying to be as non-biased as possible. Obviously, being such a fanboy for Indiana Jones, it's a bit more difficult, but let me know what you think in the comment section below. Was you impressed with what you saw? Did you enjoy the deep dive? Has it sold you on the game to actually try it and play it? I know it's Game Pass day one, but that still doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to give it a go or try it out. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you thought of the overall puzzle system, the skill upgrade system, the combat, the whip action, the switch from first to third person, then back to first person. Do you think that will get disorientating? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts, because overall, I think this could be a sleeper hit for 2024. And honestly, it's a shame that it's going to miss out on the Game Awards, because if it does as well as I hope it will do, this could potentially be up there for nomination. But unfortunately, it's outside of the window, so maybe next year, if it even counts, we'll see. But that's it for me. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Remain legend.